This episode of the Good Living Now podcast is sponsored by our friends at Kuvings. Now, I've had almost every brand of juicer on the market since I started my healing journey in 2015. But the Kuvings Auto 10 has been a complete game changer. It's easy to use and easy to clean. Plus, I'm able to make smoothies as well as sorbets and plant-based milk. So use my code JUICEGUY and save 10%. All right, you know what to do. Get your juice on. Welcome to the Good Living Now podcast, where we talk to real people about real change leading to real health. I am your host, Harold Leffall, and today's conversation is going to be incredible. My guest today has beat drug and alcohol addiction and lost almost 150 pounds in the last 2 years. And he's here today to share with us his journey and how he did it. Welcome to the show, Bobby Smith. Hey, Bobby, what's happening, man?
What's going on, brother? How you doing? Glad to be here.
Man, I'm so happy to have you on the show. You know, I first learned about you probably over a year ago, and I think you were on a watermelon cleanse or fast. You were just consuming only watermelon. I'm like, okay, this brother is a beast. And I think you have been doing it like maybe over 100 days. Is that right?
That's correct. Yep, I did a total of 108 days of watermelon from May 2023 up until September 2023.
Of just watermelon. I was like, when I saw it, I'm like, this brother is a beast, and I want to know his story. So tell us, how did you start your healing journey? Because as I said from the onset, you had an alcohol and drug addiction, and you lost almost 150 pounds in 2 years.
Yes.
What led you on this journey?
Alcoholism, man. Alcoholism. I struggled with it for probably about 12 years since the age of 20 years old. So it's probably a little longer than that, about 15 years. So that's what led me to it. I got tired of it. I got tired of living that way. And I had already knew what to do when I stopped drinking alcohol from previous years. So once I stopped drinking, I knew what to get into to stay off the alcohol. I just had to want to really stop drinking, you know. So I was one of those, like, what you call severe alcoholics.
Really?
Yeah. Like, wow. You know, I always tell people, like, you know, the worst alcoholic in your family.
And we all got one.
We all got one. And I was that one. I was that one. So I was like one of the worst in the city. So mine went a little further. Yeah. So that's why the change that you see in me is so dramatic, because from where I come from. Like,
right.
I don't know where I come from, because it was really, really dark.
Wow. Because I saw a picture of you and you look totally different, like a complete transformation. So it was the alcohol that prompted you to change your lifestyle. So did you go to like AA or anything like that?
Nope. I'll tell you how exactly how it happened. October 2020, I got into a car accident, and that totaled my car. I fractured a couple ribs. I was under the influence. I had like wrecked like 4 other cars, and it was just a crazy event. So after that, like a string of events in my mind happened. Like, I stopped drinking as much. I was still drinking and out of control, but I stopped drinking as much, and I started being more like intuitive, you know, like more conscious of certain things that I was doing. So I made a little plan. September 2021, I got off of Facebook. I got off of Facebook completely, and I was like, you know what? I got off of Facebook for 30 days. Once I did that Facebook detox for 30 days, it's like, that's when I like got this sense that I could do something. And it's so crazy, because that's how I know, like, social media is a powerful tool. Because getting off of it helped me. You know what I'm saying? So once I got off of Facebook for 30 days, I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to get off of Instagram. I'm going to get off of Twitter. And I just kept TikTok for like 4 months. So in February 2022, we was watching the Super Bowl. And that following week, after the Super Bowl, we got toe up. That following week, that Sunday, me and my best friend, we were sitting there drinking alcohol, eating KFC, you know, smoking, just doing what we do. And I had decided that day that I was done drinking. I walked. There was a little bit of alcohol left in the bottle,
Mm-hmm.
and me and my friend was passing it back and forth. Like, no, you can have it. You can have it.
Right.
And it came to the point he gave it to me. I walked it to the kitchen sink.
Mm-hmm.
And I walked him to the kitchen sink, and my daughter was in the house too, and she came over to the kitchen sink. And I said, you know what? This is the last time you're gonna ever see me drinking. And I
Wow.
took the bottle and I poured that last little bit of alcohol down the drain,
Mm-hmm.
and we all looked at each other and started crying.
Wow.
And that was the last time I ever touched a drink.
And that was it.
That was it.
Wow. And did you go through any withdrawals from the alcohol?
A lot of people ask me that, and I didn't
Mm.
because I think it was because I wanted to stop so bad. And
Mm.
and I picked up juicing immediately. Like
So you went from drinking
day,
alcohol to juicing.
that next day I was drinking pure apple juice.
Wow. And how did you know to do that? I mean, how did you get that,
So back
insight to do
in
that?
2012 or 2009, my cousin died. He got killed.
Mm-hmm.
And he had turned me on to like some of the things that's going on about eating right and doing the right thing. So back then I had got a glimpse into the lifestyle.
Right.
I knew what to do. And 2011, I started studying this guy named the 13th Son on the internet. And he was talking about how we need to give back to nature and how fruits can save you and all of that. So I knew I kind of heard about it, veganism around that time.
Right.
So during that 2012 to 2022, during that dark spell in my life, I was always conscious the whole time of what I need to get back to. So that's what I ran to soon as I put that bottle down.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, that's amazing. You went from drinking all kind of alcohol just to drinking juice.
I'm telling you, and when you say drinking all kind of alcohol, I'm talking about I was your type of alcoholic that I was at the liquor store when they opened. Every cashier in there knew me. They knew what kind of liquor I drank. They knew I was coming, expecting me. I used to be at the store because in Toledo, in Ohio, you can't buy alcohol till 5:30 in the a.m. So I would wait. I would set my alarm clock.
Wow.
For 5:30 and get up and go to the store and get some beer.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the type of life I was living.
And you were also doing drugs at the same time?
Marijuana, ecstasy, cocaine, every day, every single day.
And so did you stop that as well?
Yeah, I stopped. So I didn't stop. This is the crazy part about it. I didn't stop everything cold turkey. Only thing I stopped doing cold turkey was eating meat and alcohol. Stop drinking alcohol.
Okay.
Other than that, I was still smoking cigarettes. I was still smoking weed. I was still doing ecstasy. All of that stuff gradually fell off.
Gradual.
The more I did fruits, the more I indulged in information and watching people like yourself and Jillian and everybody, I started saying like, this is counterproductive. Like, the more I got into this lifestyle, the less I started doing that stuff, and eventually it just left. So I started the journey in February 2022. By June 2022, I had completely stopped doing everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing. That is amazing. And so you started with apple juice and then you just advanced and got more information and started doing other things?
Yeah. So what happened is I know about the lifestyle. Like I study fruits. Like I used to watch people and like I was to come home from work and watch fruit benefit videos. Like the benefits of this fruit, the benefits of this fruit. So what happened was I was going to the store and I would buy all these fruits. And what happened is I noticed it was expensive to keep juicing organic and doing all this. So I would watch more videos. And what happened is I learned that simplifying it was better for me. Just doing one or two fruits. So I would come home and start like blending up cantaloupe. I'll blend up a whole cantaloupe, throw it in a one of these, one of my containers, and I would just sip on that all night at work. So it got easier and easier, just one fruit here, one fruit there. Then I would just start watching stuff, experimenting with different juices and different combinations and stuff like that.
And so when did you start to feel like better? When did you start noticing changes?
May 2022. I had lost 30 pounds. I had lost 30 pounds from February to May, and I didn't even know it. I
Oh
didn't even know.
wow.
When I went to my son's mom house to pick him up one day, she had a scale in her house,
Uh-huh.
and I went and stepped on the scale, and I was like, "Man, I lost 30 pounds." And she was like, "You been working out or something?" I'm like, "No, I ain't worked out. I ain't did nothing. I was just
Right.
walking at work and drinking the juice."
Right, right.
Once
Wow.
I found that out, I was like, okay, I can do something about this. And I would start becoming intentional about it. Like going to the park and walking, then I start jogging and everything just started coming into place. So that May 2022 is when I felt my initial startup, like, yeah, I can do something with this.
That wow. And you know what's the interesting thing too? Like you were on drugs and alcohol, but you were still overweight.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You were
I started off this journey at 268 pounds.
mm,
And so that lets you know that the weight was secondary to me,
right.
because
Yeah.
I wasn't even thinking about it. I just wanted to stop
Mm,
drinking,
drinking. Right.
and eating meat. I knew the importance to stop eating meat for me. I was
Hmm.
like, because I studied the meat and what it does to the body and stuff. So I'm like, I'm gonna leave that alone too. And
Right.
doing
Right.
those two things together, it was just like it was perfect.
Mm,
Everything else became easier once I got those two things out the way.
right.
Yeah.
And during that time before you started juicing, you were dealing with like high blood pressure and erectile. Did you say erectile dysfunction?
High blood pressure, sleep apnea, erectile dysfunction,
Wow.
like you name it, I had it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and a lot of things I didn't know I had.
Mm,
I didn't never really go to the doctor after I got diagnosed with certain stuff. I would stop doing my pills and just I
mhm,
was living recklessly. So my health was never a concern, but it was a
mm.
problem.
Right, right,
Yeah.
right. Wow. So you you like lost 30, realized you had lost 30 pounds, and then that just encouraged you to keep on going. And were people noticing any other changes in how you looked and how you behaved? Like what were people saying to you?
So what happened was, so in the lifestyle of drinking and drugging,
Mm,
you around a lot of people.
right.
You constantly around people.
Mm,
So when I started the journey, I instantly took myself away. Matter of fact, when I stopped using Facebook
mhm,
in 2021, that's when I started losing a lot of people. I had
mm,
already started isolating myself
right.
before the change. Because when
Mhm,
you're not on social media, you kind of like out of sight, out of mind to a lot of people.
right.
So I give people this advice all the time, Harold. If you're gonna start a journey, and you indulge like with a lot of people and a lot of social media activity, you got to step away from that. You
Mm,
got to step away from that and get into your own methods and your own ideologies and stuff. Because what I did is when I got off of social media, I was able to do what I wanted to do. I was
mm,
able to just do things how I wanted to do it, get the
right.
information I wanted to receive. I was only on YouTube.
Mm, mhm.
So when I decided to come back on Facebook in 2022 in September, that's when my family finally seen me. Nobody had knew I lost weight
Oh,
like that.
wow.
So I had lost, by the time I got back to seeing people and stuff, I had lost 80 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah. So everybody was like, man, what's the secret? What's going on? So that's why I think my growth took off a little bit, because it came out of nowhere, seemed like it seemed.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just
yeah.
appeared to
Like
be
you
skinny.
disappeared and came back like
Yeah.
this new person.
Right, right. Yeah.
And so and you have done primarily fruit. Like you are you considered like a fruitarian?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay.
So I came in like 80% fruit. And
Mhm.
once I got back online and I started seeing the scope of it, I started looking at what people was doing. I was like, this fruitarian stuff is where it's at. So
Mhm.
I declared myself a fruitarian as soon as I came back on Facebook.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So when I did that, it seemed like more people was interested in like, what's a fruitarian? Like, what's that?
Right,
So
right.
I used it. I was doing. When I came back on Facebook, I instantly started running challenges for myself, like
Mm.
30 days of all smoothies and stuff
Right,
like
right.
that. So it got me into the lifestyle. That's how I became fruitarian. So by just challenging myself to do it every day. And then I saw the benefits of it and my clarity and everything. So yes, I use mostly fruits, 95% fruits right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
And man, that is amazing because you gave up so much. I mean, you gave up the drugs, alcohol, meat, and then you went just to primarily fruit. I mean, how did you handle, or did you have like cravings? Were you tempted, you know, to like when you would go out, were you tempted to eat things that you would see in restaurants? How did you deal with that?
Oh yeah, like it's a process. It's a
Yeah.
process. Like I don't think I not from what I know, I don't think nobody could just jump in and jump out. I mean, into this lifestyle
Right.
from a sad way of eating or something.
Right. Right.
So yeah, during the process, yes, of course. Like I remember one time, I had just stopped eating meat like for like 4 weeks,
Uh-huh.
and at work they had a taco party, and
Uh-huh.
everybody knew that I wasn't eating it no more.
Right.
So
Right.
I'm like, so one day I went to the bathroom and they left all the food in the break room. Nobody was around. I
Uh-huh.
went in there and grabbed one of them beef tacos, man. Went to work. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you don't go through the process
Right.
and go
Right.
in and out. It
Right.
comes to
Right.
a point where you gotta decide, like, this is
Right.
exactly what I want to do. So yeah, I did. I was in and out. My first 5 months, I was mostly doing like juicing all day, and I would come home
Mm.
and eat like salads and noodles and all of that stuff. No meat.
Mhm.
Just long as
Mhm.
I wasn't eating meat, I was fine. And the
Mhm.
juicing is what really helped me lose the weight because I was only juicing during the day all
Mm.
day long because I was working third shift at first, juicing that night. Then I switched shifts and then I started juicing during the day.
And Bobby, I think that's such an important point that you make on this journey. It is not going to you're not going to always be perfect. You're not always going to do it the quote unquote right way. And I think a lot of times people don't give themselves enough grace when they are trying to transition to healthier eating and healthier lifestyle, and they beat themselves up if they have a slip up. Because I know I was in New Orleans a couple of weeks ago, and I've been plant-based for like 4 years. But in New Orleans, there was food everywhere, and I'm smelling all these foods, and I ain't ate meat in like over 4 years. But I was like, it was tantalizing. And I was like, I didn't eat it, but I could see how people could easily, pick up something that they haven't eaten in a while, and then beat themselves up and just kind of totally just throw in, all the hard work they've done and just go back to eating the standard American diet. So I definitely could see how that could happen.
Mhm.
A lot of people ask the question, they always ask me, what do you do for protein? There's this whole protein debate, and I think there's a propaganda around protein. I think there's a lot of misinformation about protein. What do you say to people when they ask you about protein?
I stopped answering that question.
Yeah, yeah.
Like if it's so many examples on the internet of people who live this lifestyle and who working out, who buff, and I'm
Mhm.
currently working out, gaining muscle right now.
Right.
Like that's I don't. It's a myth. It's a
Yeah, yeah.
it's to me it's the original cop out.
Mhm,
What about the
mhm.
protein? Like that's like
Right,
a
right,
program cop out.
right,
So
right.
I don't like if you asking about protein in 2024 when it comes to
Mhm.
fruit eating and with Google and YouTube and all that, you ain't in the right headspace. That's just
Right,
how I feel.
right,
That's truly
right.
how I
Yeah.
feel.
So what advice would you give to somebody who they want to change? They're dealing with weight issues, or they even dealing with addiction. What would you say to them in terms of how to get started?
Start,
Mm,
start.
mm,
Don't make no excuses. Willingness, you gotta be willing.
mhm,
If you're not willing to change or willing to start something, then you're not going to start it. So with the age of information we in, you got
mhm,
a computer in your pocket.
mhm,
Everybody got their phone in their hand all day long.
mm,
So with that being said, what is your excuse? You know where to
mm.
start. You can go into
Right.
Google and say, where to start getting healthy at? And it
Mm,
pop up so much stuff. You can
right.
actually start getting healthy. So all the information is irrelevant when you don't implement it. So
Mm,
we're in the age of implementation. So you
Right.
got to
The
start.
information is there. It's about,
Yes,
the information is readily available. It's just
it's
about,
information
yeah.
overload. It's
Right. Right.
information it's too much information.
Right.
So
Right.
you got to start applying some of these things to see if they work for you. That's
Hmm.
it. There ain't no other way. Like where you got to be honest at where you at too. That's one of the
Mm.
other things. You know better than anybody. When you go sit down with a coach or anybody, you got to tell them where you at. They don't know.
Hmm.
So you got to be honest with yourself. Your starting point got to be your most honest point. This is where I'm at. I tell people all the time, one of the biggest changes you can make in your life is getting up, making your bed up.
Mm.
It's something simple as that.
Right.
So that if you really don't get up and make your bed up every day,
Hmm.
you should start there.
Yep. Yep. Creating a habit,
Yep.
creating a
Yep.
habit and having, and that's a sense of accomplishment. Something as simple as making your bed up every day.
It changed my life, man.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
see, my bed always made up, always made. So I like it's like a route. It puts you in a routine, and it gives you something to think about as soon as you get up.
Hmm.
So these are little things that I work on. Like when people say the best things in life are free, they truly are.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
truly are. Everything that you can control is what gives you more control.
Mm. And you know what? Through your transformation, your life has not only changed physically, no longer doing the drugs, the alcohol, no longer have the high blood pressure, sleep apnea, erectile dysfunction, but you found a greater purpose in your life through your transformation, and now you're able to help other people because of what you've gone through. Tell us a little bit about that and your community that you built.
Oh man, it's beyond words.
Mm,
I came into this without the intention of helping people. Like if you go
mm,
back to my old videos and stuff, I used to say I ain't here to help people. I
mm.
ain't no guru or savior, none of that. Like
Right,
which
right.
I'm still not, but my intentions have changed so much
Mhm.
with learning people's story. Sitting
Mm.
back talking to people and behind the scenes through messages and stuff, it really opened my eyes, and I was like, you know what? The things I'm projecting on people are hurting the people
Mm.
because people are stuck in this cycle of perfectionism, and if they can't
Mhm.
do it perfect, they can't do it.
Right, right.
So I built this community where it's called the Fruit Up to Five community, Harold. And what
Mhm.
we do is we focus and help people realize that you don't have to be perfect. You have to do it your way to get progression.
Right, right.
And that's what I live by now. Like I'm not no longer pushing the fruitarianism lifestyle on people, even though
Yeah,
that's what I live.
yeah,
But I figure from my position of living the fruitarian lifestyle, it's easier to help people just eat healthier.
yeah, yeah.
So that's why I changed my approach, and I love helping people now. Like I found a new sense of purpose in it.
Mhm.
Like it's changed my reality. Like you can like since January, I've changed.
Yeah,
With the
yeah.
amount of people I help. So that's what this is about now. Like our people, I want people to feel how I feel.
Mhm.
Like I feel
Mhm.
good. I feel like living now.
Right, right.
Like I
Yeah,
feel like I have to live now. So
right.
that's how I want people to feel.
Yeah. It's so amazing, when you change your diet and your lifestyle, you don't know how good it like before I changed my diet and lifestyle, I thought I was living pretty good, but when I started eating fruits and vegetables and eating fruits from the earth, I'm like, wait a minute, this is a whole nother level. I remember when I did my first juice cleanse, I had so much clarity and I got so much insight and so many down. I started my supplement company with doing a juice cleanse,
Mm,
and it's
mm.
amazing kind of the transformation that happens when you're just fueling your body with what I call nature's candy, with fruits and vegetables and stuff like that. So it's amazing, and it's something I want everybody to experience that, to everybody to feel that lightness, to feel like truly alive. Because I never felt truly alive until I changed my diet.
You know what you just said, man? That lightness, like
Mhm.
that's something that you can't explain.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
I told somebody yesterday, like this is no lie.
Mhm.
Because I've been the last 7 days, I've only been eating and juicing apples and eating like 2 nights a week. I had some mushrooms and some broccoli or something.
Mm-hmm.
But no, some mushrooms and potatoes. But because we don't fruit up till 5, so we eating. I'm teaching the group how to eat till 5 o'clock. Then we can have a wholesome meal at night. So, but the other day I've been doing so good and not going outside my diet and juicing real good. And I was in the house dancing and stuff. And I was dancing. I looked in the mirror and I just smiled because I felt how light I was.
Right.
Like you gotta feel this lightness. Like it's nothing you can explain. So that's what I be wanting people to get to. Like you don't feel bloated, you don't feel inflamed, you just feel light, you can move. Even like your movement of your arms and everything is different.
Right.
You can feel like you're a part of the air.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you got to get to a point where you can experience that. And it's only through fruits. It's literally only through fruits you're gonna feel like that or not eating.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. You know, it is so funny. Like I'll be 57 in June, and a lot of my friends, they complain about arthritis and all these pains and aches, and I don't have that. And, you know, I'm not on any type of medication. You know, most people who are over 40 or 50, they're on high blood pressure medication, cholesterol, none of that. And it's all based upon what you put in your body. When you treat your body right, your body will treat you right.
That's a fact, man. I wish my dad would have heard that. He's 59 years old. And he just went to the hospital the other day with chest pains and all this, and they put him on medication. And I told him, like, you know, that it's all about what you putting in, Dad.
Yeah.
That's it. And it's so difficult for our people to change because these days it's tough. It's tough, man.
It's
you know,
tough.
especially once you get older.
Right,
you know,
right,
it get even
right.
tougher. So
Yeah.
you gotta start now.
And so much of how we socialize is around food, you know, and it's hard for folks to, like, I remember when I was first, you know, changing my diet, you know, going to family functions, and, you know, they have all the, you know, the food, and I would bring my, you know, my nuts or whatever I was going to have, I would bring it with me, and people would get upset that you weren't eating their macaroni and cheese and they ribs and stuff. And I'm like, you know, you know, people get offended by that stuff, and that's how we socialize, just around, you know, eating. And so, my hope is that people will just be a little more conscious about what we put in our mouth, because I think a lot of times we just don't think about what we're eating. We're just eating and without thinking about it. And my hope and intention is just to create more awareness about what you're putting in your mouth and how it makes you feel. Because I remember when I was eating the standard American diet, I was eating all this dairy and ice cream and cheese, I would always feel like I had like a cold or flu, but I still ate it. Even though it made me feel that way, it was so addictive and I was so used to eating it. And I never thought, when I started on my journey, I never had the intention of being plant-based. I just wanted to get healthier and I wanted to feel better. And I just started just continuing eating. Like I started, I think, with beef and then chicken. The last thing I gave up was like eggs. I used to love eggs and cheese over the last two things, but it was a period. It wasn't like I did it cold turkey. It was like probably a 2-year period of just like eliminating things and adding more healthier things to my diet.
Yeah, it's a process. I tell everything involves a process, and when you understand the process, you know you got to go through the process, right? You know it. So the process involves going in and out of that process. That's like going in and out of the process is a part of the process.
Wow.
So when you
That's
understand
good. That's good.
You won't fumble as much. You're gonna give yourself a little more grace, and you're gonna reward yourself a little more. So that's what I kind of harp on that, like the process. Never put a timeline on the process either. Never. Because once you try to put a timeline on it, then you rushing.
Right.
You gotta get there. A lot of people tell you to put a date on it, put it on your calendar. Whatever works for you. But I don't never know where I'm going.
Yeah.
I just go.
Right.
I didn't 2 years ago, you could never tell me I'll be sitting up here with fruit up gear on talking to Harold Leffall. Never in a million years. So I didn't envision that or nothing. I just started doing for myself. That's it.
Right. Wow.
And now I'm here.
Wow. Man, I tell you, your story is incredibly inspiring. You know, just seeing your transformation and just seeing how you're helping people, from what you've gone through. So now, do you do one-on-one coaching as well?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
So
So if folks want to get in contact with you, tell us how they could do that.
so now Fruit Up with Bobby Smith, YouTube, Fruit Up 13 on Instagram, TikTok. We got the Bobby Smith Facebook page, the Fruit Up with Bobby Smith Facebook group. Right now I'm doing something called the Fruit Up Till 5 Challenge, where members pay $97 or $297 for the VIP, and it's been the most remarkable experience of my life. Like
Wow.
we go live every day, every morning at 7 a.m. I go live in the group, get them up. We got Aline Habib running with me. She does a live cooking show in there every day. We do live Zoom meetings twice a week. We doing shadow work in there, homework
Wow.
assignments. It's like a 30-day masterclass of transitioning to the fruit lifestyle. And it's been so much love. People been crying in the Zoom meetings.
Wow.
It's been a new community. We got like 60 people in there this month, and we're gonna run it back next month before we do the watermelon washout in June. So I do group coaching, private coaching. You can email me, message me, however you want to get some help, reach out to me, because I'm really trying to get more people to eat fruit, man. Really.
And I love that you're creating community, because a lot of times people feel isolated and alone on this journey. And so to have that community, that accountability, and that support is so important.
And
So, but
you know what I learned, Harold?
mm,
Even through the community, like we've been so isolated.
mm,
Like
mhm.
especially since 2020, we've been so isolated that even people are adapting to getting back into communities.
Yeah.
We really are. I've noticed that through my own communities, people are a little timid to even accept the love and of the
Hmm.
community.
Hmm.
So it's really, really about building communities, man. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that's awesome, man. Man, but thank you so much for sharing your story and your journey. I'm very proud of what you're doing and the people that you're helping, and very inspired by you. So, man, thank you.
Hey,
I
likewise,
appreciate you.
brother. Likewise, I definitely inspired by you and all the work you do. And when I see you on my timeline, it's always a reminder of where I'm headed.
Oh, that's what's up. All right,
Definitely.
man.
Definitely.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Indeed.